Let us prepare to God in prayer this time.
Okay, yeah, we're good.
Amen. I like it.
Check out YouTube.
Here it is, God. Father in heaven, we come in the name of Him who died, rose for our justification, and who intercedes for us even now. Lord, we come first to say thank you for this day and all you have blessed us. Teach all today. Now, Lord, we come thanking you for this ministry of fitness and nutrition. These ladies, these dedicated folks, the ship, they got others. The dedication to this ministry, who of it taking place here at such a time as this. Lord, concerning what we are here to do today, Lord, we ask you to guide us to nourish our bodies with foods that are proper for balance. After we have learned to do that, help us to make wise choices and honor you and keep us healthy in mind, body, and spirit. Reminded of what the scripture says, Apostle Paul says, body is the temple of the Spirit. He also says, whether we eat or drink, whatever we do all to the glory of you. Please bless our time together today. Going forward. In Jesus' name, we pray and ask it. Amen. Amen. Well, I've been there with the case of prayer, but I'm here to try to do that. Anybody can do that. Lord, start with me.
Thank you very much. I want to thank all of you for coming out again to Mount River. I want to thank our pastor because without his blessing, we couldn't hold these events. And also without his lead, that these events are needed, we couldn't do it. So thank you to Pastor Brown for giving us that support. Second of all, we have, but before I go on to that, I want to thank Ashley Madison because Ashley has been every meeting and encouraging us and giving us ideas of how we can move forward for October. So many thanks to Ashley. But I thank you and I appreciate you. I think Nadine Daniel is also the woman of probably 500 jobs. Because every time I ask, can we do this? And I know she already has so many things to do. She still does it to get possible for us. Thank you to our wellness committee because you guys are really great ideas of how we move forward. And so this is really great. All of you. And to you, you came out this. And we appreciate this. Thank you, last but not least, to our women ministry who are always here supporting us, making sure that we're on track and things that we need are getting done. So this morning, we're dedicating it to health and wellness, but specifically nutrition and exercise. Now, this is something that I'm good at. I like to do certain things, and I know the fact that he is learned by he was here on our mental health seminar a few months ago. And I was exploring. He started, it made me realize nutrition is really the linchpin to everything. Right? And so he presented us today. He's our guest speaker and we're speaking about nutrition and wellness and health and exercise. I'm excited. I see some of you brought your culture and all that. So I'm excited for everything. I'm a chairperson, so you're a chairperson also. You can also exercise for your chair. So thank you very much for supporting us, and we hope you walk away learning something new, taking away a new thought, and knowing that you have friends here that are supporting you and want to be with you. And last but not least, I want to take this adjective queen. And I say the queen. she just volunteered and said, you know what, I'm gonna bring all those things you see there. She did that. All of those things. So with that being said, I'd like to call Michelle Franklin up so she can introduce Dr. Z. I want to also thank Diane. Diane's Spencer, who's been behind the scenes, quietly, as many of you know, any committee you're in, she's behind the scenes quietly. And she has great ideas, so we can't not say thank you to Diane.
Great morning, October. Good morning, Dr. God. Thank you for his goodness and to our pastor and his absence. This guy needs no introduction. He is a phenomenal in his own right. I have known this brother for about 38 years. When I first met Dr. Zoe, we had just moved into our neighborhood and I was looking for some activities for my son who at the time, I think it was like 5. And we happened to stumble across a place of nutrition. And it was a karate class. And then Dr. Z put together, he had this like great idea about doing some aerobics in the community. So we got so big that we had to move next door. And we started a step team where we traveled all around California, taking our steps, doing our step activities, having all those things you guys know on Facebook where the guy. This is the man. But he takes no credit for it because he's just honored to do what he does. He's been in our community teaching about nutrition and health and exercise for over 40 years. 40 years. Yeah. And a lot of us don't even know that. So it is a great pleasure to introduce this brother who saved my life, saved my family's life, my friend's life, just by teaching us the way to eat, the correct way to eat, and to exercise. Because it's embedded in me. If I go one day without doing it, he said, anything beats a 0. I don't care if you go up and step 5 times. Anything beats a 0. So this man right here is my brother, my friend. I just love him so much. Dr. Farley's are.
Love you too. Everybody, it's really great to be here. I'm going to be talking probably with, let me move this over here. Thank you very much for getting up and being here today. We want this to be really, really exciting. We want every moment of what you're going to be doing to be something that is going to help you move forward. There's nobody in here that is too late. You know, you should have did it earlier. Don't beat yourself up. We're going to do all that you can because I know how it is when it comes to exercise. This is one of the disciplines that really, really and truly calls on all your discipline. Michelle, this is the sweetest lady in the world. We've been together and she's been very supportive of me. If it's just me and 8 other people in there, boy, we just tear it up. And since we've grown, like just to give you an idea of how long, 40 years ago, when I was one of the first instructors in the South Central area, period. Now, in South Central area, there are over 6,000 churches. There are also about 7,000 party stores. That's where you like liquor and all that stuff. So, and then of course, well, now the crime has gone down significantly. I think personally because they done killed everybody. But it's really important that we, did everybody get a page, a format that you can follow? Yeah. Okay. If you don't, please raise your hand so you can, because we're going, the difficulty in exercise, if you raise your hand, if you have we have the agenda there. One of the things that we want to do today, we're going to talk about nutrition. Nutrition has been taught with just nutrition, and usually it's disinformation and it's misinformation. So most of the things that you know about nutrition, more than likely, it is something that is you've been misinformed. Because there's another offspring from disinformation and misinformation, and that's spooky nutrition. You notice that most people that talk about nutrition are telling you things, don't do it because it'll do this to you, and you will die, and if you eat too much of this, or it's some kind of fantastic superfood to eat. But there are no superfoods. All the foods, there are foods that have different properties, which we're going to go over, but none of these properties make any sense before. If you look at your page, number one. Number one is self-worth. Self-worth. If you don't have any type of self-worth, that is, if you don't care about yourself or you have any values about yourself, or if you're saying things which is called auto-suggestion, if you're saying things that belittle you, if you're saying things that make you less than what you really are, these are some of the weapons, not tools, that people use to trip themselves up and to be counterproductive. So those people that, if you haven't worked out in a long time, today we're going to take it easy at the end. We're going to take it easy. We're not going to come right in and go full force. What we're going to do is that we're going to take your time, go parts of your body, loosen them up. If you haven't worked out in a long time, that's okay. And then we have Velma. Velma, I haven't seen Velma in, how long, Velma?
Way before pandemic.
Yeah, it's a long time. It's been a very long time. A lot of people I even see in supermarkets and stuff, and they're like, I'm still working out. But they gained a lot of weight, and we're going to tell you why and how we can get out of that. When it comes to your positive self-image, including a strong belief of your abilities, and that's, if I went around the room and asked you that, which we're going to bypass today, but we want you to think about the greatness of yourself. If I ask you to name some attributes, any attributes about yourself, anybody can give me what's your name? Give me one attribute. Give me one quality about yourself that you're definitely sure of. Positive. Excellent.
Personable.
Personable. Excellent.
Yes.
Care. Beautiful. Great. What is the thing that separates you from other humans? What's unique about you?
I'm a people person.
Okay, a people person. All right. Anything else? What makes you separate from this?
Love.
Love. They can love too. What is it?
Volunteering.
Okay, volunteering. Great. Yeah, that's it. What? Good. Good. So these are the things that we, once you start to understand your self-value, then and only then will doctors be able to come before you and say something and you really want to embrace it. And the reason that we don't want to embrace it is because we don't know us. And even if we do embrace it, we don't have the correct sources. And the correct sources are, where does this information come from? Who gives you the evidence that this is real or if it's not? So when you hear misinformation is things like, if you drink 10 bottles of beer a week, you might die. You're like, who told you this? You know? But people use that because this is what they've been told, and this is what they continue to spread from generation to generation. There also, the next very important thing is purpose. When we talk about purpose, we're talking about, let me see if I can get that in. When we're talking about purpose, what is your calling? What is your calling? Anybody know your calling? You don't have to say it You know, if you know, think about why you're here. See, and then this starts to, now if you're not thinking anything, if you don't have any purpose, it's hard for what I'm saying to you to even matter. It's hard for your PCP or your primary care physician to say anything to you that really matters. Because if you don't have any value, what's the purpose of it anyway? Does that make sense? So that's the whole idea. The more you value yourself, the more you can appreciate somebody that's saying, here, do this, or have you looked at this before? Or this is an opportunity for you to do something different. So when you do feel that you can accept, or you can embrace what maybe another doctor, and there are different types of doctors and different types of scientists. When it comes to nutrition, when you talk, for instance, you should know histology. That's the study of cells. You should know anatomy. That's the study of the parts of the body. You should know like your digestive system, your immune system, your endocrine system. All of these are different ways that you can understand you better. Now, when you've heard that you got to love yourself, that's the problem. You don't love yourself enough. Well, the idea that comes in your mind when you say love can be from A to Z, you know, love your dog, love a plant, love a hobby. But when it comes to loving yourself, it really should come down to the focusing of your work. What you bring to the earth, you make a difference. You being here today make a difference in how this whole thing is going to turn out today. Just by yourself. That's how powerful we are if we don't learn enough about ourselves, and if we don't have that kind of attention to ourselves, then nothing. What I'm going to say to you is going to be, you know, you're going to go right back to, I was pancakes, you know. But I don't eat this, I don't eat that. See what I mean? So it's one of those things that I know from doing this so long, you can't tell a grown person what not to do. You're gonna do what you want to do, right? Anyway, so what I'm going to say here is that I'm not expecting you to change as soon as you, oh, he said the word, I heard the word. You're going to do the things that you're used to doing because habits the things that we have accumulated, it comes through doing it over and over and over and over. And then practice makes what? Practice makes automatic. So that's when we get those kind of things corrected, we can kind of like say, oh, I'm not so bad after all. Because there is a lot of things that you're up against. You know, if you're eating cookies and candy and sugar and oil and salt and all those things that no, all of those are things that we see repetitively, right? We see these things constantly. The food people eating, like they always make whatever you're eating look bad because they got the fries and the mushrooms and you got the burgers and you got the sodas, you got all of that stuff. And it becomes a habit. And it's hard to break. And a lot of us, even though we're older, we have grandchildren, we have children and so forth, grown children, we still are under or feel that we're under peer pressure. Everybody under peer pressure, right? Cool. I remember my mother used to love this song. It was called In the In Crowd. Anybody old enough to remember? I'm in the in crowd. Even back then, you know? So it's like that's the kind of stuff that today we can go over. And remember, I'm starting like this because when you start with embracing yourself, don't make a move without saying, I'm wonderful, I'm magnanimous, great. I've been blessed by the greatest. Those kinds of thoughts that make you feel good. Everything that has happened to me is happening for me. Every moment is a chance to start anew. I'm equal to any challenge. Okay? These are the things that you start with before you go into, like, you should have vitamin C because vitamin C. Who cares? That's why it's so very difficult when you look at the result or the outcome of what you've heard. Have you put those things in action? Now, speaking of action, there is proactivity and there is reaction. If you are a person that is impulsive, that is, you notice like when you go shopping, just before you right up there at the cashier and it's bubble gum and because we've been studying.
Yeah.
That's what people do. And they don't rush you to hurry up, look, you got somebody right behind you. You know, they want you to stay right there. Yeah, I must have gone, I need some more. And you see it doesn't match up. You got shampoo next to a corkscrew, and then you got next to some toothpaste. It doesn't even go, it doesn't have to go together because we have been taught to be impulsive. And we've also been taught to be lifetime customers. Whether it's killing us or not, we're going to still get it because it what? Tastes good. So, in speaking of taste, that's one of our, what is a taste is a what? Is one of the what? There's one of our senses. And the other senses, think about commercials and think about why we do what we do or what we eat, because we're constantly attracted by our or through our senses, the five senses. If it looks good, it smells good, it tastes good, it sounds good, it smells good. It's but just eating something out of the oh, I like this because it's good for my immune system. This will make my blood cleaner. Blah blah blah. Right? You see what I'm saying? All of these things are tied in, and that's why a lot of us are where we are when it comes to the eating. Next, let's go over your eating lifestyle. When it comes to the eating lifestyle, what is this is like I'm going to bounce all over the place. You might look down there and have something and it's not there, but I'm going to convey it to you. But the eating lifestyle. What is the purpose of the way, before you even say anything, I want you to think about this. What is the purpose of the way that you eat and the way that you live? Can anybody explain it to me? What's your purpose of the way that you eat? That means that you're eating according to your lifestyle, not according to your appetite. So if you change that, like people that argue, we have these great arguments, vegetarian versus vegan. Whoa, okay, what does it mean? It means that if you eat in a way that satisfies your lifestyle and reduces the risk of disease and illness, then that should be the one that works for you. Yes. You see? If you're eating in a way that you don't even, what's your lifestyle? Hey man, I just eat when I'm hungry. And you will hear a person not really give it any thought. They don't give it any thought because they are answering some physicality. I'm hungry. I'm used to this. It smells good. Ooh, that looks good. Give me a piece of that. And which is cool because we should have a good relationship with food. However, we have the tendency to overdo it. You know that that's too much on your plate. People put stuff on their plate like they coming back. It's really bad. There's one time I had doing a question and answer. A young lady stood up and said, I was talking about cholecalciferol. Cholecalciferol. Have you ever heard that before? Cholecalciferol is another form of vitamin D3. Okay, this is what we use when we are vitamin D deficient. Vitamin D is made by the sun touching the skin, and then it makes vitamin D3. Now, a woman got up and said, you know, cholecalciferol, it'll kill you. It's rat poison. I said, I listened to it and I said, okay, where did you get that from? And they said, it's all in the papers, it's everywhere. You know, cholecalciferol will kill you. And I said, that means that vitamin D3 will kill us, right? But what she didn't understand is that this is for us to understand too, there are things that we can eat, and going back to overeating, there are things that we can overdo that'll make us sick. Just like cholecalciferol for a mouse in a lab, it will be what a human eats will kill that rat. So it is in a part of the recipe or the formula for rat poison. But she was saying that, you know, it'll kill you, and that's the spooky nutrition. Don't do it. Did you know that nutrition also is led mostly by superstitions? Yeah. You know, people eat stuff because this is stuff that they believe that's gonna, whatever. You got lucky meat, you got unlucky, cornbread, you got all of these different things that people do over the years. And even as good Christians, as it were, good Christians have some of, just like any other religion, it also has a tag on those little beliefs and superstitions that you take on as you grow. I don't think there's a person in here that doesn't have any superstition about something. Either you talk about, oh, that's number three, you know, you right into it. Or you might say, there might be, oh, no, I don't drink tea after 5 o'clock. Or anything, you can almost name anything. I'm not gonna walk under ladders or whatever it is, but that is just a part of living. When it comes to those things that you put into your body, you gotta be more responsible for them. Because everything that's going in your body, except for the reward sometimes, should be helpful to you. So if you're eating potatoes, would give me, I'm going to put you on the spot. Tell me what potatoes are good for. Don't say feelings. Okay, so when potatoes are two things, the peeling of the potato is great to increase your fiber, and it also is great with, you can believe this, vitamin C. We're talking vitamin C only comes from what? Citrus fruit. And then you stop at lemon and lime, right? But they don't say other different types of that. So we want you to look at the food that you eat. Talk to me. You eat an orange. Orange is good for what? What is it? Vitamin C. What else? Fiber. Why is it good for fiber? What's the part of what's the part of the orange? The pulp. The pulp. The pulp has most of the liquid, but there's a part, you know, that really kind of is white, and that's called cellulose. And that cellulose cannot be broken down by the human body. Therefore, when you talk about food that is fiber, the definition of fiber are those foods that cannot be digested or they are digested partially. That's how we get it. Why is fiber so important? Because we need it for daily body movement. Now, some people will say, I took my detox last summer, and I do it every summer. Detoxing is actually a wrong way to represent what detoxing is to most people. Detoxing to most people is eating nothing but laxatives. If you look at those formulas are filled with laxatives. Of course, people will say, like, I feel clean. How do you feel after a fast? You feel cleaner, don't you? You feel more disciplined, don't you? You feel like you've done something to make your body healthier. But fasting is more uh, effective psychological than what it does for your body. All you're doing is making your bowels move. And when people use those laxatives and they purge, then they're like, I'm clean now. Because the way that we've been taught is like our body is some kind of, it has like a big bag in it, and then you put the laxatives and poosh, all the dirt goes out. And if you don't do that, it'll be around your body for years. Have you ever heard them before? These are things that are not true. If you ate something, let's say, fruit cake, back in Christmas 1968, getting some details, some here use my detox formula, and this is take it out right away. Well, in there, they have all kinds of stuff. You're looking at licorice root, and you're looking at cenobites, and you're looking at all of this stuff that this stuff is, but it sounds good. So you take it, and then you have a bowel movement. They have a bowel movement that most of us have diarrhea because it's so strong. And then after you get rid of that, it's like, I detox, I feel good. I got all the bad stuff out. But then later on, you find out we have good bacteria and we have bad bacteria. And without both of them, our body is vulnerable to disease. You see? So all of these are things that we can like look at and say, everything that I eat, I have to know, I'm going to know at least what I'm putting in my mouth. Potato, I use the potato because it's one of the things that practically everybody eats, but it is very good with vitamins and minerals. You can get very, very sick without vitamins, but without minerals, it can start causing complications in the functionality of your body. That is how your spleen and pancreas and kidneys and liver function. So we'll get back to that later. Let's go to how do you switch from vegetarian to vegan? Now, it was suggested that a lot of you wanted to know that, you wanted to see how many people are satisfied with the way that you eat now? How many? Okay, good. So the way that you eat, give me an example of your breakfast.
Okay, for breakfast, I usually have with blueberries and raspberries and drink some coffee.
Yeah. Good, good. That's great. What's so beautiful about that? In the morning, fruit, the best thing to do is to have your fruit in the morning. See, that's when we get up and have some fried, grits, butter, bacon. We got a blueberry muffin made with the fake blueberries. You got the coffee, you got milk, you got orange juice, all of that stuff. Did I say anything else? That food does fill you.
Yeah.
So therefore, when you say fill you, I'm saying filling you up is really, really just answering a urge. And the urge is you need something to eat. And most of us eat from a survival urge. We're not eating because we're eating to be healthy. We're eating to be full, and satisfied. As a matter of fact, some people are not even full and satisfied until they feel the stomach just one third blowing up. You ever get to that point where you just eat and something is good, you know you have enough of it, but you keep eating it because it's still on the plate. And guess what? Most of us came up like that. Don't forget to say, what you doing? It's more breakfast on this table. See, you get what I mean? I think some of you know what I mean. So, and then you eat that. Now, you don't have the parent that says, okay, that's enough, you don't want any more? Okay, we'll go ahead and put this up. Maybe if it's that much, it might be something later on, we'll wrap this up. But most people, what they do is they're not finished eating until there is nothing there. Even if you started off with that little hill, you know what I'm talking about? The little buffet hill. It's incredible. We overdo it. Switching from vegan again to how do you do that? Very slow. And that means that instead of just jumping over to something like a lot of people are doing today, they'll jump right into being a vegan because it's trending. It's been like off and on for years. Off and on for years. And vegan is actually discovered by, I forgot this, it's this guy that actually was dealing with a lot of religious conflicts. And one of the things that he made up at that time were those people, no meat, no fish, none of that. Now, I don't eat any meat. I don't eat any flesh. I've been like that ever since I've been a little boy. I used to chew that stuff. My mom used to smack me behind the head. I was playing with the meat dangling. You better. But the meat and the fish, all of those things can be a part of a healthy meal. You don't have to, the only way for you to live is to not eat meat. It's just, I don't, sometimes people say, hey, would you like something? They invite you to their home and they have a spread of food for you. You've been in there sweating your butt off, making sure everybody got everything. And then the first thing they say, I don't eat no meat. It's rude and it's very, very unfeeling. It's one of those things that people, you don't have to report to a person how you eat. You can simply say, nothing. Next. But it's people that want, I don't eat meat because, did you know that? Well, you know it, you got like some rival because of the way you do it. And that's the way that it is now. It's very much, food is a business.
Yeah.
Food has nothing to do with caring about us. It doesn't, you know what, this is really great for your heart. This is, they always say, this is the part of a healthy breakfast. Well, you can reach in the refrigerator and put anything beside that healthy breakfast, and it's a part of a healthy breakfast. But we don't listen to that. We just like, oh yeah, that means that's it. Cheerios, are they healthy? No. Bran flakes, are they healthy? Raisin bran. Cheerios. I mean, where does Fruit Loops come from? All of these things that people eat are things that we learn through being habitual. We do that. So let's do number one. A number one step that you can do is whatever you're eating now that you know that is unhealthy, start eating just a little less of that. Take your spoon and just remove one spoon away from that. That's the beginning. That's how simple it is. I know that sounds really simple. But when you reduce what you're eating, a lot of times that's the best way to do it because you can't do it overnight. You may be able to stop eating 3 candy bars a week for about 2 weeks, but you're going to go back to those candy bars. Because again, practice makes what? It's automatic. It's automatic. Practice makes perfect is because you've been practicing that for a very long time. But practice does make perfect if you're practicing perfectly. But who's gonna call that not something that's perfect? Only you. So it's really important so we can get the thinking mechanism to go along with our urges to eat. That's how you get past it. Now, How many people have said, since I've been talking, people have said in their mind, man, I don't think what to do. So, I've been here and I've been there. I know how it is when a grown person tells another grown person what to do. And I want you to know plainly that I am not here to tell you what to do. That is not my job. My calling is to make you aware. Once you're aware of it, then you can choose. You see, I'm not going to say, you know what? I see that you over 250 pounds, and let's see in my office or something that's necessary. But I don't care about that. If somebody's this big or that small, that's your choice. Whatever choices you make. But I do want to say, you know what? Here are some ways. I know that if you stop eating meat, that you're going to do a lot for your health. Because meat, according to the CDC, is potentially cancer-causing food. I can say that. Now, CDC is the Center of what? Disease Control, right? And the meat that you eat is in the same toxic category as cadmium, as mercury, and other poisons. So that in itself is enough to say, I'm not eating that. But the human body can definitely live a healthy life if you reduce the amount. People live to be very old, and they have eaten meat all of their lives. All of their lives. And then you got the person that says, I eat oatmeal every day. I eat oatmeal every day. And they'll say, well, that's why I feel so good. Everybody got their thing. Everybody, all of you, if we start to say what you eat, everybody got something different. And then we have the people that think that what they eat is the best way to eat. No, it's the best thing for you to eat. So we have to get out of that whole war-like thinking when it comes to what are the best things for us to eat. How do I transition to a plant-based diet? I think through education, and that's what's important. Find out what are the healthy foods for you. As I was saying, like broccoli, you should know what is broccoli good for. What is asparagus good for? What is maybe ugly fruit good for? What is star fruit good for? All of those things, that is where we need to be. Do you know that we've been living all of this long time? And I guarantee you, and I won't do it, but I guarantee you if I went around and said to everybody, tell me what is this vitamin good for other than vitamin C? We wouldn't be here a long time. Just thinking it out. You don't believe me? Let's do it. Let somebody tell me what is, let's start with the middle. What is copper good?
Get rid of gray hair.
Getting red hair? Oh, getting rid of the gray hair. Oh. I didn't know that. So, but I'm listening to say because copper as well as zinc is good for the health of the pores in your scalp. But a lot of times the writers talk about make sure your hair grow back big and da, 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 da. Some of that stuff is just hyperbole. It's just talk. What is calcium good for? Okay, somebody tell me something other than bone. Calcium is one of the most important minerals that
I see.
will
Okay, let me see if I can
stimulate
adjust
and
the.
ignite our parasympathetic nervous system to keep us calm. So when you're in parasympathetic nervous system mode, you are in the mode where you are calm. When you are not calm and you're going to, let's look at the other nervous system. We have parasympathetic and we have sympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system is fight or flight. That's when you're afraid of something, or you want to get out of there, somebody's attacking you, you're worried, you just had a bad argument. All of that is sympathetic nervous system. It will wreck your body. That's part of distress. Distress will wreck your body. You know, but then you have eustress. Eustress is good feeling, but it's too much of it. So you can wreck your body. Distress over here or eustress over here. Eustress is like, God, I just got that check. Ooh, girl, look at this dress. I got a new car. I got a new boyfriend. I got a new husband. Whatever. That's excitement, that's eustress. And through too much of it, like if a person is just up there all the time, you might want to say there's something wrong there. It's not balance. Right. You happy all the time, and it's temporary anyway. But anyway, so let's move on to the next thing. Transition to a plant-based diet is just taking your time, adding more vegetables. Vegetables should be eaten after your largest meal. Your largest meal is in the middle of your day. Stop eating that breakfast, lunch, and dinner thing. That breakfast, lunch, and dinner thing, if you're having any type of weight management problems, you will keep them if you continue to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast, that's what? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all of these ideas came from employers. Okay, that's to eat enough to get to work. And then by lunchtime, eat enough to stay awake. And then they let you go home. And when you go home, later on, you have the big piece of chicken. So if we look at things like that, then all we're going to do is we're going to repeat the same things that we've gotten over the years. Right? So how do we change it? I want to just talk about the problem. We change it by eating a small meal in the morning because all you need is like a jolt of fructose. Fructose comes from what? It's the sugar in fruit. So when you taste that sugar, that sweetness, that's what you need to get you started. And then, of course, you don't have, some people say, oh, that gets your metabolism started. Blah, blah, blah. If you ever heard of that, that's people that don't understand metabolism. Metabolism is what your body is doing 24/7. And guess what it's doing? It's taking something that you've eaten and is breaking it down to a form of energy. And that's called catabolism. Catabolism is when you have the food, you eat it, and it turns to glucose. Well, glucose is blood sugar. Right? So when you eat too much of that, then again, too much. That is the beginning of your woes, eating too much. Instead of these big old platters, like a person gives you something to eat, and they're used to eating in these big platters, that by itself is not a good step to take. You want to eat smaller. I'm thinking the small, but the saucers. Eat in the saucer instead of the big plate. That's the beginning to eating less. You see? When you drinking some water, Kool-Aid or whatever it is, you don't have to fill it up to the top. Just at the top. So it's really important that we get used to seeing it differently. If you see it differently with the little saucer here, you might have a teacup right over there, and you might get up and get some for the second time. But guess what? You give yourself a chance to make that decision. Whereas when it's all up in front of you, you have to say, you don't give yourself a chance. Yeah. So does that make sense, everybody? So those are the kind of things that you put yourself in. That's having a good relationship with food. That's a beautiful relationship with food. Now let's go on. Now we got to make vegan every day easier. So being the number 6, everybody say that. How can I make going vegan every day easier? So the thing that you want to do is again go back to what I was saying earlier. Don't worry about being a vegan, all the titles, vegetarian, octogenarian, all of these things all these titles. The main thing that's important for you is to find a way to eat the food that you feel best with, the food that you know is going to be most helpful with, and the food that you are acquainted with, those things that, as far as nutrients are concerned, know where you're going to get vitamin D, know where you're going to get calcium, know where you're going to get manganese or magnesium, and start saying these things, get more into it. Because unfortunately, after a few vitamins and minerals, we're saying the same thing that you were saying when you were back here in the first grade. Back in the first grade. And that's most people. Why? Because agnotology is the study of ignorance. So when you don't know, you can't do anything about it. Right? You can't do anything about what you don't know. You can be skeptical, but you need information to make a good decision. You see? So what we do is we say to the doctor, hey, here, take this, it's good. Why is it good? It's delicious. Why is it delicious? You're gonna love this. Why am I gonna love this? You see? So once we start eating and drinking and start thinking about what is it going to do for me, it makes a huge, huge difference. Let's name some reasons of why we drink water. Go. Hydration. What? That was it.
Again,
Good. Keep your system, it's called motility, right? Keep your system moving. What else? Keeps the body cool. Excellent. I'm so good to see you. The other things that water can do, what?
elasticity.
Elasticity is correct, right? For your muscles to move. If you are dried up, you can't be surprised when you snap. Right? You gotta drink. You gotta drink water. And most people say drink 8 glasses of water per day, right? Practically everybody in here got a different formula for that. And look, everybody is alive. Everybody's different ages and everybody, see what I mean? Those things are guides. They are not laws. So when you drink, you want to drink enough to keep your body off through the day. You want to have your water, but you don't want to overdo it. Some people have said, you know what? You can drink as much water as you want to. You know what? You can eat as much food as you want to because they're all natural. You ever heard of people? Yes. You know, Coke, and I mean cocaine, when I say Coke is natural, and Coke will kill you. Heroin is natural. Did you know that heroin used to be sent out by Sears and Roebuck to your house as a mail order? And you would get the syringe to put the heroin in your veins because they used to propagate heroin as the best remedy for headache. It's a joke, but I mean, I'm not joking, but that's a joke. You see? Yeah, those are the kind of things that you can see as the time goes on. The more you learn. But people are studying the effects of agnotology. If you're ignorant, I can tell you anything. That's the devil will tell you. You're like, what? What? Agnotology. The absence of knowledge. So that's why you got to get educated as much as you can. And some of you probably, everybody in here can outdo everybody else in here in something, whatever your thing is. Vocal, singing, doing hair, you can decorate a room, sewing, whatever it is. Everybody has these skills. But when it comes down to it, we got to get back into the value of self for things to make sense to us. If you don't have the value of yourself, then again, as I said, okay, how we doing? What time is it? Oh, okay. So here, I'm gonna go through a couple more things here. While I'm doing this, any questions? Yes,
Difference, there is a difference between vegan and vegetarian.
yes. Vegan means that you do not eat any, now there's the degrees of vegan too. Because there's vegan and there's a vegan, vegan. A vegan is a person that doesn't eat any meat. A vegan is a person that doesn't eat any meat, but they don't eat anything that bees have anything to do with. They're called vegans. So these are people that refuse to eat honey. There is a difference between vegetarian means that these are people that do not eat meat, but if they're technically, they eat chicken, they eat fish, they just don't eat stock, they don't eat beef. You see? So those things, that's just like I just had I don't know how many follow me on Facebook, but I was saying, what's the difference between eggs and dairy? Both of them have to be, they're byproducts of animal, right? Chicken, eggs come from chicken, and all of the cream and ice cream and milk and all that comes from cow. It's right, it's butter. Yeah. So you got, why aren't they the, what's the difference there? The reason a lot of times that we don't understand the difference is because food is a business. Yeah. Food is a business. Just imagine if you were selling your lemonade and you said 50 cents a cup, and then you sold out. And what's the first thing you're going to think about the next time you go? You want to sell more. You're like, how can I sell more? Ooh, I paid $400 today. How can I sell more? And then you start experimenting, right? Oh, I'm gonna make some pink lemonade. Oh, I'm gonna make a red lemonade. I'm gonna put lemonade and put some bananas in it. You start getting creative because it's business. So when we go out there and eat, and I said a lot of people become angry with the food industry, therefore, every time we buy something, we're making a vote. We're voting for that. And if we voted out, they'll repeat, they'll bring more. You see? So that's the difference. Did I answer that? Anybody else have any questions? Now, I want to go back to eating at the right time. In the morning, the reason that it's important to eat light food in the morning, and then as we wake up, we eat heavier food, is because your brain and your heart, your digestive system, your muscles, and everything about your body is just starting to wake up. Waking up, which is a level of thinking that is maybe slower, stretch out. Your muscles are cold. You see, don't you? You know, sometimes when you stretch out, you're like, you look stiff this morning. Well, the reason is because your body hasn't warmed up yet. But as you go into the middle of your day, your body starts, the metabolism is in full stroke, full function. Whereas in the morning, you wake up, and the first thing that you're throwing in is sausage and eggs and something from last night that you can't identify. You know, those are some of the things that we should get out of those habits. Instead of having the leftovers thing, Eat smaller and so you can eat fresh the next day. You know, it's really, believe me, it's not that hard. Changing the size, the dosage, again, going back, the dosage can make all the difference. Like if you have 3 servings, you're okay. But if you're gonna have 6 servings, yeah, that's gonna, you can be on your way to diabetes. Yeah. Now, hemoglobin A1C, anybody heard of that? Now, hemoglobin A1C, you know what I'm talking about there. Because they can tell when you're taking an examination and you go into the clinic, they can tell you what you've been eating for the last 90 days, how much sugar. Now, if your A1C is over 5.4, you are now what is called pre-diabetic. And now, if you continue to eat like that, you will become what? And those are the things that you want to stay away from, overdoing it. What you eating is probably fine if you cut back on it, you know. But instead, hey, we got the new hot and cold diet. We got the cookie diet. We got the ice cream diet. We got the wear shoe diet. All this stuff. And people are continuing to eat like that. And we're going to continue to get the same thing. Did you know that 58% of black women are obese? Yes. 58%. Come on, man. That's over half. And then when it comes to males, the same thing. We're not as much. We're in the 40, about 47%. But we still have a problem with overdoing it. So if somebody in your family, a loved one, is overdoing it, that might be something that you can help with. Like, let's eat like this. They probably try to chop your arm off, but you know, little by little, if you just set it up for them and have it there for them to eat. Like, I don't know if you've seen Eastern Indian dishes. Have you ever seen that before? Paratha, yeah, dal, chutney, basmati rice. You ever seen it? If you ever go to an Indian restaurant and everything is in little bowl, and you just, it's really cool. And you can do the same thing, and this will, a person will get used to eating a small amount. Now, you can also break this too by giving them 30 choices. Here we go again. So what you do is little by little. If you aren't going to continue eating fried fish, fried chicken, you got steaks and hamburgers and all that stuff, add more vegetables to that. Commit to eating more vegetables until you get a grip on it. Because it's not easy. Being addicted to that type of eating is just like being addicted to a drug. You can't let it go. You need to also have a partner, brother, sister, friend, somebody that can work with you. It is not easy to make changes. And some people don't want to have a partner because all they want to do is hear good news about the bad. That's so bad. And when it's severe, you have patients, men and women, that don't want to hear the results of their test or their exam. I don't want to hear it. And that's the good ones, because at least they get to the hospital. But when you are afraid to find out if you're doing bad, I don't know how to deal with it. Like you're going to hope it away. You can't. You have to make steps to get to arrest those problems. So with every time we talk about what isn't good for you, I'm doing my best to also give you some kind of antidote for you. Because I know after a while, it's like, hey, what can I do? What can I do? And it's like you can do a lot, and that's by staying very diligent with eating small amounts of food. Supplements. Some people take supplements, some people don't. Now, how many people take supplements? It's really good. Okay, how many people just feel that you don't really need something? Don't tell the truth. Y'all know we in the church? High blood pressure pills, that's something that you should follow the instruction of, but also look forward to the down titration. That means to reduce the amount or the potency of your blood pressure. So if for instance, if you're taking 500 milligrams twice a day, you might say, hey, Doc, I'm doing great. Can I, turn this down a little bit? And then you can go from 500 milligrams twice a day to 300 milligrams twice a day. And look forward to it. Some people get on medication, I'm set for life. It's like, they don't want to get better because the pill for every month. Pill. Yeah. And it's like, hey, I got it. I'm taking the pill. I don't want to feel it. I'm taking the pill. Oh man, here come my cousin. I'm taking the pill. So, does that make sense to you? Yeah, just, and don't be afraid to, a doctor is a surgeon. So when you talk to them, talk to the person, and you say things like, what is it that you find? What do I do from here? What's the next step? How long do I have to take this? When can I get off of? What are the side effects? Usually people go to the doctor and bro, fix me. And that's like, it's like a blank check. Do what you want to do. Right. But you don't want to do that. You want to at least come in with what you think that could be wrong. So,
How do you find
supplements are like vitamins and minerals, or it can be herbs. Uh, uh, it can be, you can make your own. There's a lot of people that, like for instance, the top of, the carrot heads, when people just throw them away, and as you know, those edibles. There's a lot of things like that, roses, and a lot of other plants like lilacs and different types of plants or flowers are also edible. And then, a whole thing, even when we look at things like fruit, what is a fruit? A fruit is an edible plant with seeds. So look how many times we call fruit like squash. Squash a fruit? Technically, yes, because it's what? And it has leaves. Okay, we got all of those. Some people, this is really a trip. People that think that there's only one way to eat, and they'll say you got to mix the food. If you're hungry, if you're hungry, it might make a difference. And then you say, I'm just eating this kind of food. But if you are starving, it does not make any difference what kind of food it is. Starving and hungry is two different things. So if somebody's talking to you and they're starving, they're not like, where did it come from? How long did you do it? Can you bring it to how many vitamins in this day? So that's another word. When you're hungry, hungry is past the time that you should have eaten. This makes sense out there. If you wait too long to eat, then you are more than likely to overeat. That's why we have a big problem with that. It's not your fault. These are old habits that we got to get rid of. And I know sisters be like, sisters look good whether they're big or small. So I know you get caught up in like, I don't know, rockets. But you look good either way. Good looking cannot transfer to good health. That's what you want. You want to make sure that you have, like, especially today, whatever we're going to today, but it's really getting a handle on what you represent to yourself. You gotta mean more to yourself for food to mean anything to you. You gotta mean more to yourself than food means to you. You gotta mean more to yourself. So it's really about making better choices. Now, why is it important to be small in size? Because a woman over 40 inches in her waist is now more vulnerable to and have higher risk of disease, illness, infection, death, even disability. A man over 44 inches has the same thing, higher risk of disease, higher risk of illness and fatality, disability. So it's very important. Whenever you start bringing those numbers down, that's one of the things you can do, check yourself out. See exactly where you are, and then you know what kind of work you got to do. Okay? And this again is not to embarrass anybody, nobody even have to know. You can talk to people on the need to know basis. You ain't got to say, look at this. You know, that's your business. So this way you don't have to worry about, that back and forth thing and not getting anywhere. Okay. How we doing with time?
10:15.
10:15. Okay. Good. Yeah, we can actually go about 5 minutes, take a 10-minute break, then we're gonna put some music on. Those of you that have to use your chair and exercise, leave it right there. I'll show you how to do what we do in the chair too. So we're gonna just do real easy workout because we know some people haven't worked out since high school. I want you to. All right. So let's talk about lastly before we go to Q&A. When it comes to educating yourself, what are some of the things you can do to educate yourself? There are some people that are online that you can definitely follow that are pretty good at it. But you want to look for mostly MDs. Although you do have some knucklehead MDs out there too. There's I don't even want to say the name, but there's a guy that is pretty successful in giving suggestions about what you should eat. Just because you got that little coat, I got a whole closet. It doesn't make me any difference. But when people see me with a lab coat on and a stethoscope, you can't tell me nothing. I sound like, but that's the way that people feel. You know, people don't give you the same respect. It's just like, until you put on your costume. But you want to get with those doctors that aren't just showing off with the stethoscope and the big pockets with all the ink pens in. You get the ID and all of that. Great. I want you to be able to help me. That's all I'm interested in. But a lot of times when these people that are hungry for attention on line, you might get a whole different person there because the getting there and helping people or wanting to help people is different than a person that just want to look at me, look at me, look at me. Okay? So keep that in mind because that's what you're going to come across. So education, super important. Any books on nutrition? Any books? You got like all types of books, millions. You got also get you a couple. You don't have to have. Just get a couple books and start reading through. One of the things that I would suggest to everybody is to read those books that explain your vitamins and minerals. And then those of you that like horticulture is the study of what? You're out there to plant. So, it's very important. Learn the different properties of the plants. You can have a farm in your house now. You have vertical farms in your house. It's incredible. But you want to make sure you know how to do that. Because you don't want to flies and ants. Yeah. But you will find out why pesticides are so important. Some people, no, I'm getting organic. If you look and once you really look and see how people do that, then you can also graduate to how do you also raise or you harvest these particular fruits and vegetables without using fungicides, herbicides, and pesticides? That, most of the money spent on farms are on chemicals. So all that spraying and stuff is something that product will look good by the time it comes to us. You can't even find an apple with a dent in it today, unless you go to a farmer's market. Have y'all been there lately? I mean, if you get the apples that look like, this one is like they got stitches or something. It's a natural occurrence in nature. But everybody's looking for, it don't even have to taste better than that. But you see, and there's a lot of, if you knew the process of most of the food, you probably would like what you saw. Because there's a lot of things that are done to food that people would naturally just say, no, that's all right. But the food that you get a better association with it. Know that you need a partner that if you're a person that's just, I like to be by myself, just get somebody just for that. You don't need to, be going to the shooting tomorrow. All you just need is somebody that you can call. Did you make that run? Did you do this? Did you do that? But partnership and group support is super important. Super important. You might have a person that can't work out with you, but they can get you out of bed. Hey, it's 6 o'clock, honey, get up. You see, we can use each other for many things. So keep that in mind. So what we're going to do right now, any questions? Yes.
Fruit in the morning,
Oh, yeah. That's
vegetable.
Thanks for reminding me of that. I'm the founder of Rhythmic Ingestion. Rhythmic ingestion, you'll hear more about it as we get more peer-reviewed studies completed. But the rhythmic ingestion means the right time to eat and what to eat in those times. Right now, we eat anything at any time and in any way. It can be 4:30 in the morning, you can get up and have turkey and gravy. You can get up in the morning and say, you know what? I love what we had last night. Warm up the chicken. See? And those are the kind of things that we end up holding on, storing, and those are the things that we can do better. So again, reducing the amount. The first thing is in the morning, your breakfast or your first meal, whenever you get up. You don't have to get up. Everybody got up at a different time, right? Everybody here probably got up. Some got up at 4, some ain't been asleep yet. Everybody got a different schedule. So if you look at food the first time you eat, during the first hour that you wake up, makes sense because your body is doing or is acting a certain way. Remember that first hour that you get up, you're still waking up. Your brain is still slow waves. Your heart is beating slow. As you up longer, your heart pumps faster, brain waves, that's why you're sharp. You see? So in the evening, let's go 6 a.m. If you get up at 6 a.m., then there's 2 little breaks of food that you get in like a handful, and you'll be surprised how much a handful of raisins or grapes or cashews or pistachios, how they'll take you a long way. If you wait to get hungry, that's always too late. The reason that you are eating about every 2 hours is so that you don't become hungry. If you are a worker and you're working for hours on pain or to teach or whatever, you're on your feet a long time, a lot of times you forget to eat. Well, let me finish up with this. If I finish up with this, then I don't have to worry. I'll eat later. But usually when you eat later, you eat more. to make up for it. You use your families, okay? So I think that's, so the, food in the morning, a large amount of food in the middle of your day, so the 6 a.m. and 12 p.m. dinner. Although we've been talking eat dinner later. Unfortunately, if you eat dinner later and then go to bed with it, your body is going to hold all of that energy, it's going to store most of it. And this is the fastest way to get to type 2 diabetes and some other diseases. Okay? So small. And it's going to take time. You're not going to, when you're talking about this stuff, it's going to be brain system say, cut right off. But I don't want to hear that. I got to stick to this, what I've been doing. But do it for 2 or 3 days and see what happens. And if it doesn't, you don't see any difference in a couple of days, go back to what you did. But it's really incredible the changes that your body will having all that energy and feeling great. It's really wonderful. Okay, so we have good. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and take, was that it? Oh yeah, then I got the next thing. The dinner is the smallest meal you should be eating, not the largest. This is back in the days when Dad worked all day long and he came home and he had the coat over and, had the hat on, baby, I'm home. And Dad gets the big piece of chicken. That's, those days are over. Those days are over. Now everybody eating, wherever they want to eat. And probably eating something different. You got a vegan, a vegetarian, octogenarian. You got all these different ways of eating. So the smallest meal before you go to bed, and allow yourself 3 to 4 hours for that to digest before you go to bed. Okay? All of those things are some things you can do. And start with those, not just give it a go when you but you will have a better purpose and a reason. Yes? No. Thank you for that. That's a good question. Vegetables are for their properties. Vegetables are calmatives. So calmatives are best to start eating calmative at the peak of your day. So you get up at 6 a.m., you start in with the vegetables right at 12 p.m. in your largest meal. You see, fruit, although it can be eaten mixed, and that is called a monotrophic eating. That's when you're eating one of the, I was looking at sister, I forget, I just met with a beautiful blonde hair. I said, Mama Trump, she said, that's beautiful, beautiful. So the amount of the vegetables in the morning, the vegetables should be eaten starting from your largest meal all the way down to your smallest meal because they more are in line with you sleeping. You're getting ready to go to sleep. Your brain waves are going to be alpha. It's long and slow. You're sleeping. When you wake up, so your brain waves change as you are alert and it's faster and it's sharp. And that's what, when you sleep, it's like, oh, it's just, you kind of drowsy. So no salad. No salad in the morning unless it's a fruit cocktail or a fruit salad. And then, even then, you're going to have no more than 6. You don't want to make it too complicated. Okay? And don't worry about anybody into food combining. Okay, all right. Yes.
In the interest of time, so that we can still do the exercise, we want to just have a break because really only have time.
Let's go for it. Okay? All right, here we go. Thank you very much, everybody. We're going to spread out a little bit. If you're not going to use your chair, just a little back.
So, we could get the track. We could. Maybe. Yeah. I think if we do, see if we can wire.
Up 500 Three.
Yeah.
Just needing, she was still leading, when she did it. Come on. 3 more. 2 more. Bring them out. 5, 3, 2. Oh, somebody fell there. Oh. 5 more. Can you feel the end? Can you feel the end? Come on. Come on. You know what I'm doing? Oh, right here. 1, 2, like that, sitting out. 1, 3, 2, just got a little bit. Single. Now to bring your arms up. Everybody. Everybody went to the floor. In the chair, two of you in the chair, in the chair. Keep it going. Do you all have any coming up? Two more. And one more. Very good. Very good. Now move your hands under your legs. Nice. Hold on the side of the chair. Or you can do like this, like this. One. Here we go, my nigga, one leg. Everybody on the chair, you do the same thing. Smash your back, lift up one leg. Keep it there. Snap in your hand. You want to go towards your knee. You can the rest of the rest. Right back in. Smile, everybody. Smile. Here we go. Four. Stop. your right leg crossed and straight. Now you're ready for the back. Bring it straight. From here, back arch. It's time to be praising and thanksgiving to our Creator, giving us the strength to do what we need to do. Making better choices. Keeping our minds focused on the things that are necessary to give us an optimal life. We take time to say that we to say got the soul. Oh, so like we don't feel the things. So just keep on. We got